All righty then. Welcome, everybody.
Progress.
Whoop, there we go. Welcome, everybody. It is Friday, August the 13th, huh? Friday the 13th. I love it. Sales training, telemarketing training for the TRC, the Realty Classroom. Here we go. Kind enough, as usual, to give me the goods by sending me your calls. But remember, of course, that if you have any questions, whether you are inside sales, outside sales, whatever it might be, this is the time for you to ask questions, okay? So primarily, this is a telemarketing training call, but it doesn't mean for all of the other parts of the system, right? So that's important.
Recording in progress.
Oops, hang on one second. Somebody give me a hello. You have to unmute me. Just let me know. I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty here, I think. Tell me you're good. Somebody tell me we're good. Yeah? You have to unmute your mics. Somebody tell me I'm live. Okay, somebody tell me we're live. You have to unmute your mic for me. I'm having a little bit of a challenge here. We live?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Woo, thank you. I was drowning there. All right, let's get her going. I have, going back to Carla, looks like you were kind enough to be in there first. So are you up with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here, Danny.
Okay.
Just really quick, I work in the office at Remax here on the second floor. So a lot of my calls, sometimes I have to do from home, on my cell phone, whatever it takes to get these appointments. So this particular one I sent you is a follow-up. Kyle hurt his back really bad. So anyways, you can listen.
Okay. So, all right, hold on. We're all over the place. Let's slow down.
Okay.
Why did all that matter? Tell me why all that mattered to you.
Okay. It mattered because the first call that I made initially was from home, which wasn't recorded.
Okay.
So this was like second part of the call.
Okay, good. All right, now I have context. So this is the second part of the call, meaning you called them back?
Yeah. I had to call them back. Yes, I had to call to reschedule, unfortunately, because Kyle hurt his back really bad.
Okay, okay.
So it's a reset appointment.
Okay, here we go. Let's listen.
Okay.
Yeah, I just was curious where your mind was at when you're explaining it, because what's important, because I'm noticing your notes here, trying to be athletically ready is what you said in the email that you sent me in the title. So it sounds like maybe that's why I was asking, what's the context of this call?
Okay.
And you're showing me my desk step by step, ending with the ending to the right with the seller qualifying questionnaire. That's kind of cool to see. I'll see if I can't just turn my screen on here in a second for all those that are in the Zoom meeting, so we can see what it looks like. Well, why don't we do that first? So I'm going to share the screen of what Carla has sent me, and you're probably wondering, why is he asking her that question? Because I'm trying to find out what she's looking for coaching on, right? I have to know her mindset. So this is a really good, for those of you that are participating inside the Realty Classroom as members, you can see what she has here. This is her athletically ready setup. This is what it means to be there and ready. So why don't you explain to us what we're looking at? And this is the Remax office setup we're looking at. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm in,
So tell us.
I'm in an office upstairs at Remax.
Yeah.
And the office, so I had to kind of figure out what's best for me to get athletically ready for all these calls. So I have a really nice desk, but I don't have a lot of wall space. So I had to figure out a way to have my beat 1, my beat 2, my beat 3 when I'm calling for the follow-up. And then at the very far right-hand corner, I have this seller questionnaire, which Kyle just revised during the week to help me to have right in front of me the questions that I need to be asking.
Okay, good. So what are these notes?
This really helps.
Go to the top of the screen. So we see that you're working off of a Mac. And at the top, I can read be of service. Tell me some of the other things here that I'm looking at.
Okay. So my beat 1, obviously, I'm focused on expired leads. So the Vulcan expired leads. So that's all I'm calling right now. I'm not worried about buyers, just sellers. So my beat 1 is just focused on my expired leads. Then I go to my beat 2, by the way, your house looks beautiful. Why are you trying to sell it? I go into that.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
Are those beats visual to me here somewhere?
Be of service. Oh, it might have cut you off because I had sent it to you.
No, don't worry. Don't worry about that. I'm asking
Okay,
you.
okay.
You're telling us
Yeah.
what this looks like so that your mindset stays systematic, which I love. I love this.
Yeah.
So just,
Yeah.
this is not a trick question. This is just,
Right.
I'm asking you, how do you try to keep yourself, because this is beneficial to everybody. How do you
Yeah.
try to keep your humanity inside of a system? This is what it looks like for you to be systematically ready, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, your mind is telling us what you're doing. Okay, so she's calling expireds, how you're doing it. And you're talking about beat 1 and beat 2, which is the script. Do you have beat 1 and beat 2 written down here somewhere?
I do. I have beat 1 to the left of my computer.
Okay,
For some
good.
reason it got cut off.
Oh, don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
And
It's just a
okay.
simple question. Is
Yep.
beat 1 written there? What kind of font is it written in? Is it big?
it's big.
Okay, good. So you could really
Yep.
easily see it in a big written out way. Not quite as big.
And I have
Yeah.
exactly. I have beat 1, and at the very bottom of beat 1, it says springboard because I got that from you at one of our talks that we had. Go to beat 2.
Yep.
So I go directly to beat 2,
Yep.
which is, by the way, your house looks beautiful. Why are you trying a scale of 1 to 10? Then it says be of service. By the way, while I have you, those are just things that you've always implemented
Yep.
that help me
Yep.
to
Good.
have in front of me. And then I go to when I'm calling to follow up on the seller plan. That's what you see to the right of my computer. There is the questions that I ask. We spoke last week. I sent you the information that will help you sell your home the next time. Did you get it? So I have that. I had to remind myself, go to the questionnaire. I wrote that. You can see it where it says seller questionnaire at the
Yep.
very end
Yep.
of it. So, and I have like a little arrow for myself. And then on my computer, the far right, you can see the seller questionnaire, which Kyle just revised. So I have that in front of me. My problem has been that I get here at 7:30 in the morning. I stay till about 2 o'clock, 1:32. Is that some of these people obviously request, can you call back after 5? Can you call back? So I call from home. So I took the seller questionnaire now home with me, which I don't record those calls. So I have that in front of me when I'm at that step. So I'm trying everything I humanly can to help Kyle get some
Fine.
of these
All
appointments.
right. Hold on. Don't
You
go.
know,
Hold on.
yeah.
Don't make it about him.
Okay.
Don't make it about him.
Yeah.
I'm empathetic. He hurt his back. I'm empathetic. You work for him. It's not about him. This is about you.
Okay.
It's all
Yeah.
about you. I appreciate that you love him and you care about him, but this is all about
I
you.
do.
I quiet
Yeah.
that mind down. Quiet that mind down, right? Quiet it down. This is
Mhm.
all about you. This is about making you better. You. I'm going to be very selfish for you in this moment.
Okay.
What I'm staring at is that comparative market analysis, and what I'm presuming I see a Remax folder behind it. Where's the seller plan itself? Is that in that folder there too?
Yes. Kyle, you had Kyle mail that to my house
Yes.
so that I have it. So I have that also in front of me. So I'm trying to
Good.
have everything visual in front of me as
Good.
much as possible.
Good. Okay, that's what I want. Just be careful of the term comparative market analysis, even though Cloud CMA puts that on there. The segue into the value of Kyle, Scott, or whomever's visit is the analysis and the insight. Okay, so just be careful. It's just the way Cloud CMA puts it out there. But that really in front of you, those pictures and details of property are nothing more than information. Because as you sell the value of the appointment to somebody whose why is big and their motivation is real, that's how, if they have a real reason to sell and they're motivated 9 to 10, there's a possibility that the timing and the value of a meeting that adds insight to those pictures and details is timely, right? So connecting yourself to what you're staring at there is everything. the desperation for people who will be prospectable. This came up yesterday, right? In the masterminds. Very, very important to understand. We are not dealing from a position of weakness. So in other words, there are too many people who are quote unquote prospectable. What's a prospect? A good prospect, the ideal prospect for you. It's somebody who really has a why to do something, and especially in this case, you're talking about sellers, who has a real reason why they want to sell inside, at least at maximum, the next 12 months, preferably the next 6. Okay. Those are just sort of chunky things to hold on to. And their motivation, either right now, because their timing's right now, or in that 12 months, will be a 9 to 10. Now we can start to determine, well, what's the value next? And is it a real prospect? Meaning, is this person going to accept? First of all, will they understand if you were asked, well, what's in the package? Well, there are 5 or 6 properties with all the pictures and details straight from the multiple listing service, which is the source of the information. These are properties that sold around you when you're on the market the first time, since you're calling expireds. Let's say it was an over-the-net home evaluation. These are the most recent 5 or 6 properties that are in your neighborhood that meet the general parameters of what you do, just so you can see what buyers are saying yes to. Now, of course, if you want to know what yours is worth versus those, that's the reason why we would send Kyle out to do an analysis to give you his insight as to what this information means to you and what you could do to improve your position in the marketplace. It's very logical. It's very calm. And the reason that we need to be able to articulate that if somebody asks is because some of the best prospects are very intelligent and smart enough to ask, what are you sending? Versus just, sure, send it, right? And we don't have to have an insecurity where we have to over-explain things. And that's what I'm trying to quiet your mind down from. There's an insecurity that you have about over-explaining things to be valuable, Carla. And I'm telling you, you're already off the charts valuable to these people. The way you talk to them, the way you care for them, I want that confidence to be that it's just Carla delivering the idea of what's in the package, delivering, if the timing is appropriate, the value added if you were to send somebody out to add insight to the information, period. So as you stare at this desk, I'm acting as if I am you, prospecting. Oftentimes a very negative connotation where we believe we're going after them to prospect them, to get them per se. We're not doing that at all. We're offering information to magnetically attract a conversation that opens up like a flower and exposes itself to us, whether there's honey, the opportunity is in there, right? But you first have to get that flower to open up the right way so you can identify whether this is the spot for us, which is a true, authentic, two-way conversation with a contact who really becomes a real prospect, meaning there's relationship that's open like that flower, and it is a place to rest together, right? And to build together. I'm being dramatic so that you have some sort of a visual where you can slow and quiet your mind down. A lot of you come to me with this background of attack, prospect, go get them. It's wrong, period. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I think it's wrong in the long run. It doesn't build a book of prospects, a book of business the correct way that becomes predictable, sustainable. It's sort of like this whole movement towards sustainable energy, right? If you can just slow this all down, quiet out and edit out all the insecurities about what you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to be doing it, that none of that matters to me anymore. You're far beyond that, right? What matters to me, and this is a great manifestation for people to see, what does her work space look like? It's the system. She has the system, folks. That's why Carla every week, in and out, every week is here. This is why Carla is also successful at this job. She's getting these people into these houses, setting up appointments, getting the listings. This is a very viable but yet simple manifestation of a system, right? And you can see it on her desktop. It's there. But you can also see in the coaching moment, as I'm transparent with her in front of you all, it's about quieting the mind down and understanding that this act of prospecting can be a relaxed place. The best athletes in the world, when you look at their face, they're relaxed in the heat of the moment. People say, how could it be? Because they're detached from the wrong outcome. They're not worried about failing. They're just seeking the success. There's a difference. If I just simply seek success and I know it's not going to come with every contact I'm talking to, then all of a sudden I can relax into this, knowing that there is a position of plenty. Got it, Carla? With me?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go back to this. Just keep your mind quiet and we'll go back to this. So that looks great. Now you have sent me a call. Tell me about the call.
Yes. The call is a second call because I had to reschedule because of, like I said, Kyle's back. So it's a reschedule appointment for next week.
Okay.
And
why did you choose to, of all the calls made this week, why send only this one? How many did you have recorded? Now let's talk about how, hold on one second. Let me finish my thought as I think about a better question to ask you. Why in your mind, when you know that you have the opportunity for course correction on Fridays, which you take advantage of, why did only this one get chosen? Because I'm going to presume that you made plenty of contacts this week where you would have had plenty of recordings.
I think, that's a good question. Probably because Kyle had revised the seller questionnaire, which was fine. So he took off a couple of the questions that you had on there.
Which worries me. Yeah. By the way, my ears were perked up when I heard that earlier, because here we go. This is the franchise owner who starts selling chicken at McDonald's. Follow me? So that worried me, unless it's some reasonable thing that still accomplishes what we want, but it worries me. Like, why is he in there revising anything? Why did it need revision? And now here we are, because of that revision, focusing on something that might not be systematically getting us to where we need to be.
Right.
See what I mean? Everything gets thrown off when you change things from a degree. Look, we have the mastermind and this call, but especially the mastermind with our members, where we beat on thinking about what this system really does. Why does it do it? We come here looking for empirical evidence, meaning real world evidence, to beat on the theory. What does the consumer really say? How do they react? We don't fall in love with our own burgers and fries system unless the consumer says, hey, I love it the way it is, and we continue to grow. So we're always looking for the slight edge if things are good, and we're looking for dramatic interference with theory if the empirical evidence is against it. So you got thrown off by him changing the questionnaire. So you ended up deciding, of all the things you could be coached on, to deal with something there because you're patronizing his change. See what I mean? Because you're too worried about him, what he thinks, how he's doing. Stop doing that. Just do what the system asks you to do. And really what you should be looking at now is, and by the way, if you recall, my correction was, why is she making phone calls for appointments that are 45 minutes away? So I did talk to him about that this week. And so he's hoping that Jeanette might be coaxed back into coming to the team. So he's proving to her she's the one that left from that area. She was supposed to get those appointments. So I know what the logic is. But this is what happens to a small business. Everything gets discombobulated when strategy gets abandoned, right? And so we end up doing way more work than we ever needed to do. Now we have to go back and edit it all out and bring it back against the system. So here we go on this call. Let's see what you said. If it plays.
Oh, hi, Anthony. It's Carla over at Remax. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Carla. How about yourself?
Good, pretty good. I'll just keep you a moment. I just wanted to get back to you on tomorrow's appointment. I was speaking to Kyle, our team member. He'd be the one coming out. Unfortunately, he hurt his back. And he had asked me to call you. He said, can he do the appointment any day next week? Whatever's good for you. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
What's a good day?
Tuesday. Tuesday would be fine. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, let's do Tuesday. What time would you like him to stop by?
And the earliest as possible.
Okay, so 10 to 11?
10 to 11 is fine.
Perfect. We're coming to 17698 Comfrey Drive, San Bernardino. He'll take a look at your home. And just to better prepare our team member, Kyle, Anthony, for the appointment, I just have like 3 questions for you. I know most you've already answered with me previous. What do you think the value of the property is right now? If you had to put a number out, what do you think?
Above 590.
Okay. All righty. And what did you buy the home for?
437.
137?
437.
Oh, 437. Okay. All right. And when did you buy it?
2018.
2018.
October 2018.
Okay. Have you interviewed any other agents about selling the home at this time?
No.
Okay. So we're the first. Okay. Kyle will stop by Tuesday between 10 and 11, and then I'll follow up with you the following day to see how things went.
Okay, is that your entirety of your seller qualifying questionnaire?
No, that's what I was going to tell you.
Okay, so tell me what
Where's the
tweaks.
file? Okay.
Tell me what tweaks.
Uh-huh.
Again, because look at the seller qualifying questionnaire in and of itself is a system. This is for all your agents listening as well. And hi, Kevin Hogan. I saw you log in. So we have some people that might be hearing some of this for the first time. So the idea is, even that's a system, and there's a method to the the madness in the seller qualifying questionnaire itself, right? It's because we're allowing them to have a process. So are you going back and asking questions you missed? Because it's a little bit thin soup. They're really important questions, but it feels a little bit thin to me. So what's going on here?
No, it is thin. You're right. Because
Why?
Why is because my original call was to him. He said, call me back after, 6 o'clock at night. So I called him from home. And I asked him a few questions. I started the seller questionnaire. He cut me off and said, I got to go. He owns a business. I'll see Kyle Friday, which was originally today, for the appointment. And he said, I got to go. So I wasn't able to ask him all the questions. So that's why it continued with just a few more questions that I still had to ask him that I wasn't able to from home.
Okay. All right. So you're going back to fill in some stuff. You're worried there's a little bit of a high D, so he bum rushed you off the phone before. All right. So I have the context a little bit here. So let me go into this a little bit more. I want you to look at this qualifying question. You should be able to see on your screen at the moment. Can you?
I can't hear you, Danny. You're going in and out.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Somebody tell me you can hear me or not.
I can't hear you.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear that. Yes.
Now
yes.
I can.
Okay. All right. Don't know what's happening.
Now I can.
Okay. Carla, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Tell me, you have your seller qualifying questionnaire with you?
Yes.
Tell me what's missing. Take a look at this.
The questions on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you on selling?
Okay, that's not there on yours?
No, it is. It is there on mine.
Okay, so
It
what
is.
Carla, slow down your mind for a second. You get yourself worked up, okay? This is very easy. You wanted to talk about the seller qualifying questionnaire because it's been revised. What that you're looking at here has been revised, added to, or eliminated?
Well, some of the questions have been eliminated, like the ones you originally had on. What's the best feature of your home? What do you like most about living there? Those questions were eliminated.
Okay, why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kyle sent me
Put them back.
a revised.
Put them back
Okay.
immediately. Okay. And I'll tell him that. I know he's hurt.
Sure.
Just say, don't do that. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
When the whole method of this is that it's just so weird, especially the male testosterone brain. You guys want to eliminate the feeling part of a business that's largely feeling. This is somebody's home. Yes, this guy might be like, short-lived, but the idea is, what do you look at? When we go to sell a property, what are we selling? The story of what it's like to live there. We're selling the lifestyle. All of you that think you're selling like, a 10 by 12 room and the white wallpaper, that's part of the story. But when somebody comes home, they come home to their lifestyle. The most important thing is when they walk down the steps of the condo and they take a left or right in Beacon Hill, when they take a left or right out the driveway, are they living where they want to live? Are they close enough to the beach? Are they close enough to the MBTA? Where are they? And everybody wants to strip that process away from the consumer. And everybody wants to default to transactional. That's selfish. So what we're looking for, I'm not saying these questions are perfect. I'm not saying they're perfectly right. I'm saying we're not thinking about them and the story and what we would do. What's the best feature of your home? Well, I love the living room. Why do you like it? Because it's cozy and I spend most of my time there. Awesome, right? You're asking them about features and what they like most about living there because that's what you're going to sell to the next person. Imagine yourself being successful, getting this listing, walking into home and say, the current owner loves this room. He says he spends most of his time with his wife and his children here. His grandchildren come over. They cozy up to the fire. They walk out to the deck. Do you see this? I'm thinking about a family member's house that I just visited out here on the West Coast. And I can see, man, this room is awesome. Look at the fireplace. Look at the fire pit. Look at the sunsets over there. You can see the mountain. That's what we're selling. And everybody wants to strip this down.
No, that's right.
Everybody wants to strip this down. You're allowing somebody, and plus, people will support what they co-create with us. So if you're all black and white, you become just like every other selfish, I want to take your listing from you agent. And I'm trying to keep you all in a competitionless lane that has feeling, that has empathy, right? And so when you strip out the feeling stuff, it kills you and puts you right back into the non-competitionless lane where everybody sounds alike. Everybody's take, right? So this is why I was driving at what's going on here. There's a tug of war. This is a system. If Kyle has questions about the seller qualifying questionnaire, he needs to get his behind onto those Thursday calls and say, why do we ask these questions? It feels squishy to me. That's right, Kyle. That's why you, the male, does not make that phone call. Got it?
Yes. In fact, just real quick, Danny, back to my Los Angeles call, if you remember the seller question. I know you're on a lot of calls, you probably don't remember. But my Los Angeles call, I had a gentleman where I asked, what's your best feature? He got all excited. He got all excited to tell me, Carla, I have the best view and it's the most beautiful house and I have the best school district. And he just went on and on and on. And I let him and he vented and it was, you know, and it working for that house, by the way. I have to call him back next week, but I understand what you're saying.
Well,
people get excited about their home.
Well, we're in the home business. For those of us on this call that focus primarily on residences, we're typically talking about a place, even if it's a second home, that really means something to people. All walks of life, deep personalities. S, C, it's home, it's cave, it's safety, it's enjoyment, it's relaxation. It's whatever it is. Or worse, it's the other side. Got to get out of here. Bad memories here. Bad memories. Nothing. I don't like anything about living here. It's also another way to have the flower open up more. Right? Why are you wanting to do this? Well, because of this. I hate it. I lived here with my ex. I got to get out of here. Right, I hear you. It allows the flower to open up more because the more we know, the more we can be of service, which is written down right there at the top of your computer. Be of service, right? So I need you to now go back to him and explain. He had a conniption when he heard we redid the qualifying questionnaire. Now, it's a good thing because we get a chance in front of everybody to talk about it as part of the process. We talk, I forget who was saying to the mastermind the other day. If you have a telemarketer that you have had join your team and they can't learn the first beat in the first couple of weeks, it's the end of the road. You made a mistake in hiring. If they can't learn the second beat in the first 4 weeks, it's the end of the road because it's just not rocket science. I didn't say that, somebody did, and I kind of get it. And that's the reason for trying to hire already professional outbound callers who understand. We always say, are you trainable? In other words, are you going to submit to the training of a system? This goes for my coaching members too, like Kyle. Are you trainable? Don't do that again, because you just made it your problem in dealing with things that now Carla can't reel back in. So it's your problem. If you just leave it the way I have it, and Carla can bring me, recorded calls. But by the way, thank you for bringing me a seller qualifying questionnaire call. We're so obsessed with the first beat. You should only be obsessed with the first beat. Number one, to learn it early on in your career with us. Number two, to stay tight on it so you don't over time atrophy. But it's those beats, 1, 2, appointment, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that starts to refine a process that serves any kind of person. So I don't mean to get on a soapbox, Carla, but it is your job now to go to Kyle, who's not here today, certainly because he's hurt, and say, he threw a conniption, right? Think of me as Ray Kroc.
Yep.
I just drove down or across the country and I found out that you're cooking corn at McDonald's, right? Go watch the movie The Founder. You'll know what I'm talking about. I'm throwing a conniption because it makes us start to reel in all this creative. Why did he get creative? I know why. I know why. It's too touchy-feely for a guy who doesn't get it, right?
Yep.
All right. Enough about the point. But I also want you to start to lean in a little bit more, Carla. Okay? Lean in a little bit more. You don't have to patronize anybody anymore. Okay? You're past the do they like me stage. We love you. Right? You're a leader in this group. Don't patronize Kyle, Scott. You work just as hard as any of them and me, and we want to hear your voice, okay? So I want you to come each week, even if I can't get to them, I want you to have picked out each week 2 calls from me that have a variety, a first beat maybe, a follow-up beat, whatever. But give me variety and give me 2 each week. But you choose them. You got me?
Yes.
Okay. Good job, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Comments on that. I'd like to hear some comments on that because that's thanks to Carla, leading the way again with recorded calls. That's a really interesting, different call. I'd like to hear from some of you that heard that and get your reaction. Let's make it a little bit more interactive. Got plenty of people on the phone call. Lee, Alexis, anybody. Come on now. Danny Cantu, Rose, Leanne, Max. All sorts of people here.
I thought it was good. I'm Doug Wiseman with the Stillwell Group.
Yeah, good. Doug, tell me about it. What'd you think?
Well, I think that as a former sales trainer, I understand exactly what you're saying. And in the business to business world, you have it has to be a value proposition. It's got to be more fluid. But in this particular case here, an expert yourself has put this together, and it makes perfect sense that you would have the management of the telemarketers have them in step with this, because it's not just the telemarketers who have to adhere to the scripts to be successful, it's the management as well. And so I understand your point in telling Carla about I'm sorry, I just heard it 10 times. The gentleman
Kyle.
Back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Kyle.
That's
right.
Okay, Kyle.
Okay, that's all. I'm just saying that I totally agree with that, because the meaning in short that the management has to be coachable just as much as the employees.
100%. And what's the common thread amongst all of them? A systematic approach. It's the adherence to, you have to buy in, Doug, to the first, which I did long ago. When I first sought coaching and mentoring, I knew already, coming out of a venture capital background, I knew already that the best companies were being run through systems. I knew that already. You can see athletes use systems. You can use everything that seems to run more seamlessly than others is run through a system. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, now we can. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So the system buy-in is the most important part of this. Yeah, sorry, I'm on a hotel deal here. I'm trying to shut some windows. I'll see if I can shut some stuff down. Let me see if I can shut.
Yeah, I think that people like to talk about their house. They get excited too. And
Lee, take us off. Lee, take us off speaker. It's impossible to hear you. Take us off speaker, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Does this help? Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit. Yeah, go ahead. Give it a shot.
Just real quick, what I just want to say is that we always ask our